keep it realistic first. I ain't gonna lie. I'ma keep it realistic first. I ain't gonna lie.
Welcome back to the Realistic First channel. If y'all don't quit running around acting like the Republicans is destroying the vote or something, I'm willing to challenge you, bro, because you know good and well ain't nobody trying to suppress no black vote when you just had the highest turnout ever. You don't believe me that it's not about trying to suppress the vote? If you don't believe that it's not about trying to suppress the vote, then I got a video queued up for you with Uncle Joe Biden. Watch what he tell you.
Is this mic on? I guess. Anyway. Yeah. And I'm not sure either. But anyway, I hope we can get this done. But I'm not sure. But one thing for certain, like every other major civil rights bill that came along, if we missed the first time, we can come back and try it a second time. We missed this time. And the state legislative bodies continue to change the law, not as to who can vote, but who gets to count the vote. Count the vote. It's about election subversion, not just whether or not people get to vote. Who counts the vote?
Why did Martin Luther King family come running out here like they not really just looking for a newfound fame? I mean, I don't even want to debate them for the simple fact everything they spewing is trash. Jumped out there, put this little kid up there. Martin Luther King family got your best interest in mind because it was Martin Luther King family? Cut it out. Now, who is that? Martin Luther King's son? I'm pretty sure he got a lot of wise things to say. What a disgrace. These people can't debate you on anything logically and win. I wonder how much they got paid. Martin Luther King Jr. family, sit down, because y'all over here doing a disservice to black people. Black people, do you know that during the pandemic, Democrats went to court to try to change the laws with mail-in ballots and election week and shit? We gonna use one day and vote. And y'all people in Georgia, y'all want to hand me water so y'all can tell me who to vote for. You don't need to be handing out barbecue and snacks and all that. Because really, that's the time that you push up on other black people and try to make them vote how you want them to vote with peer pressure. That's why all the black people's Democrat, because of peer pressure.
Who counts the vote?
See that shit, smart ass? It's about who counts the vote. But Mr. E, MLK family ain't politicians. They may not know how to articulate the racism. They not politicians. Okay, well, y'all know who Cory Booker is, right? Let's see why he say that right now the voting issue is racist. We gonna beat him up and debate him. Let's go.
I have a hard time listening to people that want to talk about this issue and don't talk about facts.
Okay.
In the United States today, it is more difficult for the average African American to vote than the average white American. That is not rhetoric. That is fact. We know that black voters, on average, are forced to wait online twice as long as white voters.
Facts, but it's not racist.
It's factual, but let's keep going. During the 2016 presidential election, residents of entirely black neighborhoods waited to vote. They were 74% more likely to spend more than 30 minutes at their polling place relative to residents of entirely white neighborhoods. That's a fact.
Fact, but you can't tie that to racism. I'm going to smash you by telling you most black people live in inner cities where there's more people that have to vote at their polling station. Black people live in more condensed, heavily populated areas. Then you got more white people who live in less populated areas, on the outskirts of the city and whatnot, the different counties and things. And their voting numbers are going to be less. Therefore, they're going to be able to go in and vote much faster. See there? Y'all peeping game, audience? You peeping game. I just smashed his point of racism easy. It's not racism. It's just more people in your area that got to vote. By the way, dude doesn't make any more attempts to show any racism because he can't. He's just going to keep repeating the same thing for 20 minutes. So let's move on to another victim of Realistic First. News anchors, let's go.
After the Senate failed to pass federal voting rights legislation this week, the impact of voting restrictions at the state level is even more significant. 19 states have passed 34 voter restriction laws in 2021 alone, more than any other year in the last decade.
When they say fake news, what they mean is the info he just gave you was not fully accurate, because the laws that he was talking about are the laws that was on the book before 2020. And those laws were circumvented and bypassed against the Separation of Power Act using courts instead of state legislation, who's supposed to make it.
Politicians want to establish election security police forces. A candidate for governor in Georgia is campaigning on the same idea. And it's a hot mess in Texas, where hundreds of mail-in ballot applications are being rejected under a new restrictive voting law.
Okay, I can see why they need the police force. Because what Democrats pulled with not letting poll watchers watch and making them stand way back and kicking them out and all that, you're going to need some kind of police force to show up and investigate immediately, look at fraud happening during the election right there.
Harris County, Texas. There, Judge Linda Hidalgo says confusion from the new voter ID law has led to 1 in 3 vote by mail applications being flagged for rejection. What is it about this voter ID situation that is making that possible?
Yeah, tell me where the racism is at.
Good morning, Jonathan. Thank you for having me back. Well, the Texas law makes it harder to vote in about 20 different ways. And just one part of this law is leading to huge confusion, which is a new voter ID requirement for mail ballots. And it's really written in a very dystopian manner because you have to match your ID on your mail ballot application with your ID when you registered to vote. So if your mail ballot application has your driver's license, but you registered to vote with your social security number, your mail ballot application is going to be thrown out.
Well, then you need to fix that. Look at his eyes. Look at these people's eyes.
So you're seeing all of these Republican states do everything they can to undermine voting rights.
Do you remember that your party went to all 50 states and went to courts to make the laws the way they wanted to for the 2020 election, going against the people who's supposed to make the laws? And this is why a lot of the court challenges by Donald Trump and his side didn't stand up, because them same judges had already went against the Separation of Power Act by allowing Democrats to adjust the voting procedures.
I can't remember which gigantic city is in Harris County, but it's largely people of color.
It's Houston. Yeah, absolutely.
Houston.
And what's happening is these rejections are highest in the largest urban counties that are trending Democratic.
Again, it's not racism. That's because in the other counties, where it's mostly white people, they understand it's easier to fraud with the mail shit. So even the citizens themselves want to go out and vote in person so they can know that it was done correctly. Hood facts. Every time I'm challenging family and friends on their politics, they always retreat to, well, I don't trust either party. Or they say they didn't vote. Or they try to mutate to conservative and say stuff like, it don't matter who the president is. I'm going to have to get it on my own anyway. Hood facts. Black people the only one that kept black people from voting. Peer pressure. Street talk. It's not cool to vote. Hood facts. But here it is, blackmail that can put more factors into why stuff is how it is than just racism. Like and subscribe if you like the content.
I'ma keep it realistic first. I ain't gonna lie. I'ma keep it realistic first. I ain't gonna lie.